No. Right as I put us live, my dog decided to jump up here. I think he wants to be in the camera.
That's awesome.
How's your day going?
My day is good. How's yours?
Good so far. Just jamming on all kinds of things with the launch of our Lifestyle RX feature with health data and trends. So
Uh-huh.
much awesome feedbacks, coaches making cool reels and stuff. So I'm just having a blast interacting with everyone and
That's awesome.
seeing that get live. But
Cool.
what about you? What's going on?
This is kind of a education focus week for me. So I've got a new term for NPTI just started yesterday. So we have our new cohort. Anatomy is first class of the term, first Monday. So kind of overwhelming a bunch of people with just a massive amount of anatomical and biomechanical terms and realizing, as I do every time I teach this to aspiring trainers, that the words I want to use to help them understand the terminology is just more words they don't know. Um, so it's like a definite test of my teaching skills to get people who have never taken anatomy potentially to understand even the most basic ideas of what is flexion and what is extension, what is the sagittal plane, if I can't use the word flexion to define a movement you would do in the sagittal plane. So that's fun. And then Friday, we're launching the Advanced Training Principles course. So today is just a slideshow kind of finalization day and making sure I've got kind of all my interactive elements ready to go for those students on Friday.
Amazing. Is there a prerequisite for the knowledge they have to have coming into the course, or is it first exposure?
So for our master's program, which is our Monday through Thursday, 12-week, no prerequisite other than a high school diploma. So it is a trade school, like a state registered trade school. So it could be the first time you ever took anatomy and you're 18 years old, or we have a 66-year-old who just retired from a full career as a preschool teacher and has always known she was going to pursue learning more about fitness as soon as she finished her career out. So yeah, no prerequisite. And then for the advanced training principles course, yes, you have to be a current active trainer. I think we set a standard of like at least either you're an NPTI graduate or you've been working with clients for at least 6 months before you sign up for ATP.
And you'll have both classes going live at the same time?
Yeah, ATP is just an 8-week course, and then the master's program is a full 12.
And you also next week are participating in the OPEX method mentorship. So you're going to be teaching 2 classes and participating in a third.
Yeah, I'll be student and teacher, which I think is really cool, actually. I think, as a coach alone, always pursuing better knowledge and more knowledge and new information is kind of a prerequisite. But then even more so as an educator, I think any educator who's not also a student is probably not a very good educator, or at least is on the path to being not a very good educator.
Have you had to adjust obviously your week to think about like how you're handling remote clients, in-person clients, teaching these 2 classes, participating? What's that like?
Yeah, I've
And
been
a dad
fortunate enough
and a
that,
husband.
yeah, and a dad, right? So I was already building my in-person schedule kind of around dad, husband priorities. I don't train people really early in the morning, and I don't train people really late at night, and I don't train people on the weekends. So I've been fortunate enough to kind of be in a position where, unlike a lot of coaches, I don't have to kind of make those time sacrifices. I don't need a ton of clients because I've got a handful of things happening at the same time in terms of income streams. So I've been able to be kind of picky and say, like, these are the hours I'm available. And so far, the clients I have been able to make that work. A handful of retired clients is always really helpful in terms of schedule flexibility. So yeah, right now, Mondays and Fridays will basically be my really long days. I'll have a client at 8:30. I'll teach 9:30 to 2:30. I'll probably train myself for about 45 minutes, and then I'll have clients after that. So those will be my long days. Tuesdays will be a lot of online client programming and just content creation type of days, whether it's for a course or just for Instagram, along with um, the 10 a.m. kind of lecture component of the OPEX method. Wednesdays have always been kind of a more open day for me, so I'm keeping it that way. Again, for the online stuff, for the programming, for the content, Thursdays will be a fairly busy day of OPEX plus in-person clients, and then Friday is going to be my other bookend, in-person plus teaching.
That's a busy week, but like fun stuff.
Yeah, it comes in waves, right? It's like a couple months ago, I was like, holy shit, I am not busy enough, right? And like the bank account looks like I'm not busy enough. And then 3 months later, you're like, oh my God, I might be too busy next week. And so that's kind of part of entrepreneurship, I think. It's like
Yeah.
either the ship feels like it's sinking, or you're like, there's too many people on here, and I don't know how to make sure everyone like is happy.
Oh man, that's
It's
crazy.
good.
Was
I'd
there
rather be busy.
coming out of last week, since we're early into this week on Tuesday, or I guess yesterday, was there a coaching highlight that pops out to you, like a cool moment with a client or a piece of feedback or something that just like made your week last week or beginning of this week?
Yeah, I'll read it to you. So I had a client come in yesterday, and she had messaged me and asked me to kind of kick her ass a little bit in the gym. One, she was just like, I just feel kind of weak. Like, I know we've been training together a lot, but I was struggling to like push my fully loaded cart around Costco, and that just like was a little bit of a mental blow. And then just like a lot of heavy stuff happening all at once, and just she's not heavy, but well, some heavy stuff. She's getting married on Saturday, so it's like the overwhelm of the month leading up to the wedding that all compounds in the week leading up to your wedding. And then so we had a great workout, and then her text afterward was, thanks for the hard workout. I feel better mentally, stronger physically, and exhausted, which is good. I needed to get it all out. So, it was like
Yeah.
before the warm up, it was just 5 minutes of conversation about all the things that were happening. And then it was like, all right, let's get to work. Push you hard enough that, we didn't talk a ton. I let her she wanted to put her headphones in for the sled work. It was like, I'm just giving her countdowns into when her next interval starts and just letting her, just be in the pain cave for 10 minutes.
That's awesome. How
Yeah,
is
that
your
was cool.
training going?
Pretty good. It's been, well, with busyness comes needing to fit my training around. So actually, my wife and I just bought a home gym. So we just put that in our back patio. So now I've got a place to train at home, which is awesome. But my training is good. I just started my second week of a 3 week. It's called Smolov training. So second week of Smolov training for weighted pull-ups. So a 6x6 at 70% plus 5 pounds. That went well yesterday. Today I'll probably do more pull-ups. I need to do some Bulgarian split squats. I'm behind on that side of my training, but running's going well. So yeah, endurance running, and then just like really simple progressive overload in the gym.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is it about pull-ups that it's kind of, I mean, I know it's with skill, but like use it or lose it. I feel like when I'm consistently, even on a daily basis, like let me just get in and do like whatever, however I want to break it up, just get 30 pull-ups in. If I'm
Mhm.
consistently doing that, or if I have like 2 or 3 days a week where I work pull-ups into my programming, 3 sets of 10 or something like that, I'm like golden and I can progress them from there. But if I take some time off from doing pull-ups, it feels like that skill just dramatically declines. I don't know if that's the
I'm
same
gonna,
for everyone or if that's just me.
no, I think it is, especially from like an endurance standpoint. It's like your body doesn't want to let you do a lot of pull-ups if you're not consistently doing pull-ups, even if you could do a couple. My guess, my kind of thought would just be because you can't scale the weight really, like unless you're doing assisted with a machine or a band, right? The lightest you're going to go is just body weight. Um, so unless you're adding load also, like you're not really progressing your true pulling, like vertical pulling strength. You're just building more and more and more endurance. And so then if you take some time off, that first rep at body weight, you're not necessarily stronger. You've just lost some of that endurance.
Mm,
Um, so it doesn't stick around quite as long. And then my other thought would just be, your body's first priority is safety. And so again, if you haven't done a lot of pull-ups and then all of a sudden you're hanging from body weight, it's like from a biceps tendon standpoint, especially like at your elbow, and some forearm musculature stuff. It's probably like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, I'm not sure I want to do this, right? I don't know if this is worth it. Like maybe if you weighed 100 pounds instead of 150, or you weighed 150 instead of 200, I'd be fine with it. But I'm not sure how you're going to tolerate this. So I'm going to take the governor on your body and I'm going to turn it down and just not let you go so fast until you've done some lat pull downs, maybe. So I would bet if you hadn't done pull ups in a while, actually, if you did a couple sets of like heavy ish lat pull downs at less than body weight, your brain and nervous system will be like, oh, yeah, you're fine. We'll do pull ups.
That's a good one. Do you have a goal with the progressions that you're wanting to do with loaded pull-ups?
Yes. So I did a 3 rep max, maybe almost 3 months ago now, and that was 100 pounds over body weight for a set of 3. So I would like to do 150 pounds over body weight for a single rep.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then Bulgarians, I hit 308 for 3 reps each leg. I like a Hatfield Bulgarian with a safety squat bar. So I would love to hit a 400 pounds Bulgarian on each leg.
Yeah. Is that real awkward getting set up with the safety squat bar?
No,
Or you just
well,
put the bench near the
it's just
rack?
time consuming. Yeah, it's the bench behind the rack, or if I'm at a gym that has like one of those rear foot elevated like little roller stands, I'll use that. But usually it's just like a fat pad bench just outside the rack. It takes a little bit of time to figure out exactly where I want it. And then the gym my office is where I am right now. We have like rogue cages, so then I'm just putting in like pins so that I can use them as handles for the Hatfield. So it's not a balance problem. It's just a lower body strength, like a linear up and down.
Love that. What did you guys do for the home gym in the backyard? What kind of setup did you go for?
So we actually just found a gym on Facebook Marketplace. I don't remember the brand, but it had some pretty good reviews, and it was like secondhand, third hand, but like barely used. Or the guy in the neighborhood had bought it from someone who hadn't even finished building it, so obviously hadn't used it at all. And then his wife used it sometimes, and then realized she just wanted to go back to the gym, so it just been in his garage doing nothing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a little shallow, right? Because it's designed, I think, kind of for a home gym, but it has dual cables that are adjustable, and then like a plate-loaded cable weight tree in the back. It has a little weight tree attached to it. It has a landmine attachment. It has a foot plate for seated rows because the cables can go up and down. It has a pull-up bar, barbell, 300 pounds of plate weight, and it's just like we put it on our back patio. Got some gym flooring from the same person and a spin bike all at the same time. So just a nice little,
You
but
can
instead of
find
an
such great
2 hours
deals on
back and
Marketplace.
forth. Oh yeah, heck yeah, you can. I mean, people are selling
That's
stuff all the freaking time. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm always thinking about too. I just love equipment, like and playing with equipment and new equipment. So this is actually silly story. My I guess step uncle. It's weird explanation. They were downsizing their house, getting rid of some stuff in their home gym, and he's like, they had a really nice. I'm spacing on the brand, but I want to say it's like a Matrix, the elliptical that does like the side,
Oh yeah.
right? Which is like a $6,000 piece of equipment, like brand new. And he's just like, hey, we can't sell it. We can't move it. Do you know anyone who would want it? And I'm like, I don't. But I was like, I'll just put it in my garage and figure it out. Went and like
Do you
rented
use it?
a truck. Charlie's used it a few mornings just to like, he does movement in the mornings at home, just to like wake up, and then he'll do some belt squats and things like that. So he'll get on there, and he's so like Tony from the Gazelle commercial, looking all buff
Mm-hmm.
on a elliptical.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't say no to this $6,000 piece of equipment that they're getting
I'm
rid
just
of.
imagining like garage door open, just like waving at the neighbors.
Yeah. But we do have some pieces that I'm kind of thinking like, oh, maybe I should figure out how to maneuver on Marketplace. We ended up going on a big Titan binge about a year ago and did the leg extension, leg curl combo, the seated one, the
Mhm.
lat pull down and seated row combo, their shoulder press and side lateral combo. And then he went,
Nice.
I think Titan partnered with someone on that belt squat. If you know the one I'm talking about, it's like an elevated platform where you step up onto it, and it's has a pin that
Oh
the belt
sure.
attaches to with the handles
Yeah.
up here.
Uh-huh.
He
Uh-huh.
got that belt squat, and then we built the deadlift platform, and then we just have a rogue rig. But yeah, I'm always like, what can we rotate out and what can we shop for?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've never had more than just like a few kettlebells and a couple of dumbbells and just, space. But yeah, well, so our backyard gym will basically be that rack with the bar, adjustable bench, the cable attachments. We have like a 25, 30 5 53-pound kettlebells, some parallel bars for dips and inverted rows, and then a TRX plus just like open turf space.
Yeah.
I'm
I
excited.
mean,
Sweet.
from a convenience standpoint and like being busy parents, like just to get out
Yeah.
there and do some stuff for a few minutes at a time, like you're gonna be able to have some exercise snacks now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, having our daughter just kind of be able to be out there with us. Like she knows we
Yeah.
go to the gym and she started like, look, I'm doing squats just after literally having the gym for a couple days. So yeah, that'll just be like a cool thing to just have her out in the backyard with us while we're training.
Yeah. I can't wait to start seeing some reels of you guys working out together. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, totally.
How's it going with the content challenge that you were doing?
Day 11 was today. Today was I'm gonna do basically like a 30-day theme, I think, for some consistency. So it's gonna be all about the impact of exercise on aging, right? Everything from bone density to muscle mass maintenance, fall risk, links to independent lifespan, all that kind of stuff. So today was the first one of those, but it's been good. It's nice. It's easy.
Do you remember off the top of
It's
your head
holistic stuff.
what your nugget was today?
Today was so the most recent or a recent statistic is that every year 1 out of 3 adults 65 or older will fall at least once, but those that participate in regular strength and balance training reduce their fall risk by 23%.
Wow.
Mhm.
Significant. And you work with a
Yeah,
older population, right? Or you have a good amount of clients that are in that aging
I
population.
have for a long time, and yeah, right now I've got 75, 70, and a 63-year-old client, and then a couple in
So
their early
amazing.
50s online.
I absolutely love it. When I'm at the gym in the morning that I go to here up in North Scottsdale, there is a smaller group of gentlemen that are in their late 60s, early 70s, just chatting and getting some movement in. And it makes my day to see them in there because it's definitely like a gym that skews to a younger population and they just don't even let it phase them and they just get in there and do their thing and have a good time. And it's so cool
Yeah,
to see them still moving and realizing that they can.
I love that, and then I've just loved seeing, and obviously it's my algorithm, but like 100-year-old guy on stage bodybuilding, a 95-year-old lady running the 200 meters, 90-year-old, a relay of all 90-year-old guys doing a 200-meter swim relay at the like senior Olympics. Like there's world championships for all this kind of stuff. There's people in their 90s who are powerlifting. There's a local woman who's 85 and she shows up with her whole extended family. Her name's Gretchen. And her whole family wears T-shirts that says Gretchen's Groupies, and she's 85 years old. Achieving below parallel squats in like just Nike Metcons, and setting state records every time she shows up. Super cool. So that's a goal I think. Like senior track
Yeah.
and field would be really cool because you're maintaining the type of muscle fibers. You can run at 80. Your chances of falling are so much lower. Like you're practicing getting your feet out in front of each other at speed. It's huge.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. Well, this is your week of final prep for an intense sprint of about 10 to 12 weeks coming up here. So my thoughts are with you.
Yes.
And but I'm excited
Thank
that
you.
you're going to join the OPEX method mentorship too. And I'm excited to just like offline chat with you and get feedback from you.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm very excited.
Well, have an amazing week. And thanks for checking in. Is there any last words of wisdom you want to share with anyone?
Go to the gym.
Go move.
All right, Candace, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, David. See you soon. Hello.
Hello.
Long time no see.
I know. How are you?
Wow. How are
Awesome.
you? You've been all over the place, teaching camps, traveling.
Yeah, today got crazy. My daughter like fractured her wrist at volleyball practice like 20 minutes ago. So, but I thought it was broken, but it's just a fracture. So, and my wife is traveling for work. So I'm like, I got her and then my son's got his stuff and I got to go pick up my youngest one at daycare. So it's a little craziness right now, but it's all
Oh my
good.
gosh. Are you at a doctor or where is she?
No, right now. So my wife's mother met us there. So my daughter's home now. I'm in a parking lot so I can chat with you. And then, yeah, that's where it's at. That's where I'm at.
Man, well, I feel awful that you are experiencing so much just, dad life
Life.
stuff. Thank you for
It is
joining.
life.
If you need to hop off at any time, like this is so casual.
Yeah. All good. Yeah. I think maybe by like 3:40.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to fill us in? Because I guess maybe people don't know you were at Power Monkey Camp. You've got mentorship starting. There's so many things happening in your world. What could you update us on?
Yeah, so I was just at Power Monkey Camp, which is fantastic. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, it's a week-long camp. So it goes Sunday to Friday, and there's some amazing coaches there. They have Olympians there, coaching rowing stations, gymnastic stations, weightlifting stations, barbell stations. There's workouts. The food is great. You're in an amazing campsite in Tennessee. I'm there doing some workouts, and I lecture on programming at the end of the week and how they can take everything they learned from, the snatch and the clean and jerk and the handstand push-ups and the muscle ups and the rowing and all these different things, and how they can kind of take it and make it applicable to them, or depending upon if they're just normal everyday fitness enthusiasts or coaches or gym owners, and apply it to them in a structured, functional way within inside of a programming setting. So I was there, and then yeah, we have new mentorship starting up with Conquer Athlete. So that's going really well. We got some good people in that group, and I actually
Did you start already, or do you start next week?
That already started, and my goal is to we put everything online, and I started transferring all the information into a Google Doc because I want to make it into a textbook. It's 700 pages right now, Kandace. That's how much information I put into this course, which I didn't realize, because, when you type stuff out online, it's like, it's like, all right, yeah, that looks hefty, but you don't realize how many pages like one thing is, because it's in the Mighty Networks platform. I'm like, man, like, I know I got to change the font, but I'm looking at like 400 to 500 pages for this textbook. So I'm going to work on that. And then I actually just started creating another book, another course, but I'm going to make it a book. It's called, it's just a book of methods. So the initial mentorship is just all on principles around strength conditioning and for the mixed modal athlete. And now what I'm doing is I'm creating every method of training I can think of, from hypertrophy to strength to power to strength, power, endurance to monostructural work to mixed modal components and dynamic contractions and all the methods that are involved in there. So, for like the hypertrophy section, I think I have like 15 or 20 different training methods, and it's tough. I'm sure there's more, right? People just invent methods and put different schemes together and call it something. But I try to think about what were like some of the core foundational methods that people can apply for all these different avenues once they understand the principles. So I'm hoping to have that done in the next year, but we'll see.
I love that. And man, what a just gold mine of content to be able to, once it's in one place, to then like leverage in all your other content.
Yeah. So
I'll have some ideas. We'll have to do an offline chat, me and you, about how to maximize that as an asset for you, because that is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great. I love that, because I want to make I want to get the course like CEU approved, and so I'm going to start going through. So that's why I had to put it into a doc, because I got to do all the CEU accreditations for it.
And create quizzes
so
and stuff like that.
For both of them. Yeah, quizzes, syllabus, like references, and all that stuff.
Yeah. What's the coaches that are going through the mentorship right now? I know you said it's specifically focused on those coaches who are learning how to coach a mixed modal athlete. Is it for those that want to coach competitive, or just mixed modal as is the form of or style of fitness that they're coaching?
Both. So it's to me what I view as the foundational principles for strength conditioning. So it originated as just that. Like, what are the foundation principles for strength conditioning? But to me, like, those principles are what everything builds upon, right? Whether you're talking about hypertrophy training, strength training, power endurance work, ball sports, mixed modal work, CrossFit, high rocks, tactical games, no matter what it is, everything is rooted there within inside these principles, right? So some stuff is weighted more heavily towards, the mixed modal athlete, but it's all rooted on those principles. And those principles are what I use for programming for my affiliate, programming for, the Weekend Warriors, programming for people that just want to look good and feel good, programming for my my games athletes, programming for my people who are operators, programming for my people in like whatever, wrestlers, basketball players, baseball players, mixed martial artists. Everything is rooted in those principles. And that's the main premise of it. So it's really for any coach that wants to understand the principles more thoroughly and how they apply to either, whether it's their niche or in general, just different aspects within inside the fitness world. So yeah, that's really
How
what it
many
is.
how many rounds is this? Because I know you just kicked off this one and it's something you guys have been doing a couple times a year for a
Yeah,
while.
this is only the third round. So each round is 12 weeks. And then within inside the 12 weeks, people get 6 one-on-one calls as well to really lock in more into their journey. And then a weekly hour-long call, and then there's homework. Well, not homework, but assignments.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Do you feel like every time you just get better at teaching it and think of new ways to introduce the material, or has the material stayed pretty much the same?
So that's a good question. The material pretty much stays the same. I try to adjust the teachings around the clientele. You know, if it's a smaller group, it's easier to do that. If it's a bigger group, then we try to pull more questions, you know, which is hard because people don't like to ask a lot of questions, or they really don't know what questions to ask, you know. So we try to pull questions out of them so then we can direct it more into their journey and where they are with it. But yeah, the material stays the same. What I try to do is adjust my flow based around who the people are, right, and what they're trying to get out of it.
Yeah, same thing with coaching, right? It's crazy
Yeah.
because there's so many parallels, like the way, obviously, the value you deliver as an individual design coach compared to, you know, anyone asking chat for a workout and some nutrition plans, or someone signing up for another person's template. Like, you being able to tailor it is the experience you're delivering is the value, right? And same thing with courses. It's like that landscape has changed so much. We were, you know, scratching our heads the last really 2 years thinking like, how do we pivot the OPEX method course to evolve CCP to how people are learning today? And, you know, what is that? What's the value of going through an actual program like this? And it really is about like that experience that you're delivering in the live sessions, because they can
Yeah.
consume the curriculum, right? They can get the book, they can download
Right.
all the content. Are they actually going to understand it, see the implementation in play, and then like get to ask you questions about how do they actually make this happen in their world?
Yeah. And that's the biggest value point that I don't think people, um, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, like they don't take advantage of enough. You know, it's not so much hearing the information from somebody. I think that has way more value than reading the information. But to me, the biggest value with learning comes down to when you have a deeper understanding of that information as to you and where you are, you know, and that can span across so many genres. You know, it's like how, if you talk about basketball, like how a beginner uses a jab step is gonna be way different than how someone playing for 20 years utilizes a jab step. And you know, in jiu-jitsu, how a white belt learns a sweep, you know, the black belts can learn that sweep, but they can apply it in a totally different way and different nuances of the art form. And with training, it's the same thing. It's like, how can you take this information and either just learn about it a little more, or think on a deeper level around the application with all the different nuances of people that you've had experiences with, and how you can adjust it, refine it, fine tune it a little bit more. And I think that's one area that people who go through courses need to take more advantage of, is becoming selfish with understanding, you know, becoming selfish with knowledge, where ask the presenter or the professor, whoever it is, ask them specific questions as far as like how it relates it to you, and like what's sort of causing you some form of blockage. And with that's challenging too, because sometimes people just don't know until they're in it, right, in the experience, right? And you know, you look at something like like jiu-jitsu or boxing. I keep going back to that because when people are beginning, it's like they go through a move and then like, any questions, and you do the move, like, no, we have no questions, we see it. But once you start trying to experience it against resistance, they be like, oh yeah, fuck, like, okay, how do I do it if they do this? Like, if this, then what, right? And that needs to be applied to this training condition too. Like, you understand the principle and you might not have questions about it, but it's like trying to dive into, oh, well, if this person is like this, or this happens, or they respond this way based on this principle, how should I pivot around a method to drive a proper stimulus to create adaptation based off where they're trying to go without getting too far off that roadmap of where we need to be within inside those guardrails for success. And I think the more people can think about it like that, once they learn stuff, the better understanding they have of the information that's being presented to them. Yeah.
Something I think about a lot, because I mean, this is the first time I'll be teaching, because I'm going to teach weeks 9 and 10 of this new format around marketing. And I've taught like some classes in LearnerX, and I obviously like teach on the podcast, but teaching in itself is a skill. But as I've been thinking about, well, what's different now in the way that people need to approach taking these courses? Obviously, it's just human nature to like hoard knowledge, right? Like you want to like consume it and like store it for when you think you're going to need it. And it's just the fact that you like went through, you consumed it, but you didn't actually take action and like do anything, make a change, apply it, sign up for the course to do the work. Then you don't really take away much from it. It's just like, you're like just acquiring this knowledge to hoard it for later. But if we can create ways, if people can show up ready to do the work, ready to take action, to put that material into practice and almost create like a challenge for themselves while they're going through this. So they're in the mentorship for 8, 10, 12 weeks. Each week, if they're implementing and having to have proof of that implementation, then it's like they can get feedback on it. Because it's like, especially when you're teaching program design, I'm sure you experience this all the time, where someone might write something, but did they actually go and do that and feel what that workout felt like that they're going to prescribe to a client? Or when they were putting it in the context of the whole week or the microcycle, did they, what feelings came up? How did they recover? Did they, getting that feedback by doing it with you, overseeing it, like you're going to be able to help them understand what they're doing and decisions they're making so much more clearly than if they're just passively consuming the knowledge and like storing it away for later in a year from now when they think they're going to write a program based on the knowledge they learned from you.
Yeah. I mean, and the piggyback on that too, it's like some people just sit through it just to say they sat through it. Right. And it's like then nothing becomes of the knowledge, because if you don't put it into practice, then you're going to forget about it, especially in this day and age where we're just flooded with information and tactics and methods and gadgets and ideas and clickbaits. It's like before you know it, like we don't even remember anything with that we went through, right? Or what we kind of sat through. We almost like sit through it in like a zombie state. And I think that's one thing that's lost is this art within individuals. It's this art of almost like the art of application, right? The art of being able to take something small and apply it to yourself and learn from it, and then move on to the next thing, which takes more time and takes more diligence, but it creates a deeper understanding and connection of the information to you and where you are in your life cycle of your profession to further enhance where you want to be, right? And it's something that's often lost with a lot of people, because it's like more and more and more and more and more without any active doing. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't know what's going on, right? It's like boxing, right? It's like, I think we talked about this last time, like hitting the mitts 1,000 times for 800 rounds is not the same as sparring. It's not the same as someone punching back to you, moving back to you. And it's like, it doesn't apply. And it's like the art of saying you're boxing, but you're not really boxing. You're just hitting a mitt, right? And it's like that art form of putting your practice into play in a controlled state where you can learn and grow from it. And then add just a little bit. It's like the principle of progressive overload, right? It applies to everything. Add a little bit more stimulus, but still allows you to be successful. It's like you need to learn something about marketing. Like marketing is so, every time I talk to you about marketing, I'm like, I've sat through a lot of things with marketing, and I listen to you talk about it. I'm like, fuck, I don't know a damn thing about marketing. I don't even know where to go with what any of this is, right? But it's like I still have to take something small and be like, okay, what can I do right now? Thing that, what's the biggest return on investment? That's also something that I can put into play and to start working on and building upon, and then add a little bit more from there, and then try to add a little bit more from there. And that's what people got to keep doing with everything, in my opinion.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Is Ryan back from paternity leave? You have your partner in crime back for the mentorship, or are you
Yeah.
solo?
Oh my God. He's back. We just did a podcast the other day, and it was the first time ever in the history of podcasts that I had to delete the podcast and we had to start over. He came back he came back on fire, and he said something, and I'm like, I was like, Ryan, I don't think we can continue this podcast right now after what you just said. And I had to like delete it.
No,
And we
like
had
what
to
did he
start all
say?
over again. Oh my God. I'll tell you offline, but I was like, Ryan,
Okay.
we cannot air that one. And I'm like, wait till you get back on the OPEX. You can't talk like this with Kandace. But it was funny.
She'll be like earmuffs. What
Yeah.
about Conquer the Outdoors, the program? That looks
Yeah,
so
Conquer
cool.
Hunt.
Just
Yep.
all the Conquer Hunt. Sorry.
Yeah. So we're still we're still trying to get our feet underneath us in the proper way to promote it without convoluting everything else, which is something that I often talk to you about.
Yeah.
So we need to create the right strategy and format, but it's there, and it's ready to go. And I think there's a great market for that, and I think it's very super beneficial for a lot of people. So I'm excited for it. We just gotta get it out the right way and keep it going.
I love that. Well, I know you have to get back to dad mode, but I appreciate you just taking some time to chat with me and catch up, because honestly, I feel like I've missed you the last several weeks. It's been like, I don't know, 2 months, I think. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
like a
mean,
month.
I almost messaged you and I was like, hey, I love talking with you. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it today. Can we do another day? But I was able to make it. So, yeah, I
Oh,
love it. It's great.
I'm around anytime you want to chat. Just,
Yeah.
yeah, ping me. I'll make it happen.
Awesome.
Well, have fun being to super dad, and chat with you soon.
All right. Thanks, Kandace. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, a little change of pace, just so you guys don't always know the plan because I just show up live here. Jason joined us early because Brandon is going to a game and didn't think about travel time. So he wasn't able to join us. So with the remainder of the time, since we were able to check in with both David and Jason, just such awesome coaches, guys. I hope that just being able to have exposure to all of the coaches that are in the community, but in particular the guys through the podcast network and those that show up live with us here, that you're able to just take inspiration from the way they operate, the approach that they bring to not only working with their clients individually, but the way that they approach building their practice. Obviously, just the approach they have to just life, right? I'm always inspired chatting with these guys. Just they're constantly on the pursuit of new knowledge, but not just for the sake of acquiring knowledge, but for running it through the filters of the principles that they've learned and operated against over the years, and then like refining themselves, refining their business, refining the way that they work with their clients. I'm just always so inspired. So I hope that you guys feel the same way. And as always, I know people are shy to ask questions. I would encourage you to use the opportunity to comment on any one of these live videos and just share questions or things that you're interested in knowing more about, because I have these guys jumping on each week and can pick their brain about literally anything, and want to make sure that you guys are getting value from that and maximizing it. So feel free to always use the chat. It will pop up here for me. I wanted to just take a moment to highlight the new version of Lifestyle RX, which is officially rolled out. So if you pay attention and recall, if you go back to earlier this year, we released a refined version of Lifestyle RX, which we sort of lovingly referred to as Enhanced Lifestyle RX. And this was the calendar experience reimagined, the lifestyle prescription sort of modal experience reimagined. It really simplified the way that you could think about prescribing habits that we have sort of like, I'm not going to say templated, but structured habits that we know are the core basic lifestyle guidelines that all of your clients need to be working on and refining. Those are their existing plus custom prescriptions based on the very specific things that you want to work on with those clients from a lifestyle and behavior perspective. It also introduced the macro calculator as a way of auto-generating macro prescriptions and or setting specific goals around one or more of those macros and applying it to the lifestyle prescription. Then We obviously then streamlined the program design calendar to reflect and mirror that experience even more. And we've been very open about sharing the behind the scenes progress of this sort of two-part enhancement to our Lifestyle RX, which one component is that now health data, the health data integration is live. So there is a very easy way from your client dashboard within CoachRx for you to prompt and invite your client through the messaging interface that will pop up in their mobile app and guide them through how to connect their devices. There's a whole suite of devices that they can connect. And of course, just connecting their core health kit data from Apple or Google obviously sinks in a lot of really insightful information. And even if you are not prescribing lifestyle behaviors, but you just want visibility into what's happening outside of the gym for your clients so that you can ask better questions, inform consultations and weekly check-ins, or just inform overall program design, that is a huge benefit just from a visibility standpoint for you to have that now as a coach. How that actually ends up displaying for you is within the client profile, you'll see this little pie chart icon on the left, which will pop up your lifestyle trends dashboard. That dashboard will now pull in all of the data associated with whatever connections your client has enabled. You can also set priority for which device you want reporting on which particular metric that you're tracking. This is not only just a great overall snapshot for you to understand your clients' overall movement, daily activity, sleep quality, some key health markers, nutrition, and overall recovery scores for you to think about, obviously, using to inform program design or to better drive conversations with your clients. But also the system starts to surface some insights to you as a coach. So you'll see these little trend lines that will pop up on each graph, and if you click into one, it'll share an actual insight for you to consider incorporating into program design. On the client side, they also have a dashboard that looks like this on their mobile app, where they will have visibility into some of the overall trends that are being produced by the connected devices. And they will also get some encouragement. Those insights that they get are really just that encouragement. They're not giving them like coaching tips because we want that to come from you guys. But really amazing utility here. So outside of the health data connection, the lifestyle trends dashboard per client is another piece of this. And then the third piece that this update enables is frictionless tracking. So now if you are prescribing lifestyle behaviors, your client doesn't need to go in and log those behaviors each day. They will just automatically be tracked by the connected device. So full transparency for you as a coach, frictionless experience for your clients, and a lot of really amazing insights to inform your coaching relationship. So we're super excited about that. If you head over to coachrx.app/lifestylrx, you will hit this page. There is a demo video, Ashley walks you through how to view this from the coach side, how to have your clients connect devices in the client mobile app, what that process looks like, and then helps you understand how to better utilize the lifestyle prescription capabilities now that this is here. But this landing page will just give you a lot of really helpful information about what you can now do with access to this data. These features started rolling out on Monday and I think are pretty much likely fully rolled out. But if you don't have access to it yet, you will any moment now. They're just rolling out slowly to all users. And of course, if you're new to CoachRx and you start your trial, these features are available to you now as well. So really exciting. It's been a big effort. The dev team has just been working so hard to make this as awesome as possible. And there's even more enhancements that are coming off of the back of this. If y'all ever want an update on just what is new, the best place for you to find that out, if you head over to our site, is on the changelog. The changelog is something that gets updated around the 20th through the 24th of each month. On this page, you will see visibility into our full roadmap. It will share with you things that are currently being worked on. If you have a feature request, we are constantly reviewing these. So make sure that you submit that feature request. As we go into planning on a regular basis, we are reviewing these and creating tickets for the dev team to work on aggressively. Then you'll see this change log here. As I said, around between the 20th and the 25th of each month, this is something that gets updated with a video. Usually it's Ashley walking through all of the updates that were fully released in the last 30 days. You'll get some bullet points here and some links to demo videos and articles that happen. So this is literally updated every month. It's the best place for you to go to just understand what's new and what you have at your fingertips with your subscription to CoachRx. So I wanted to make sure to highlight that. And then, of course, since I didn't do this in the intro with jumping on with David right away, I wanted to be able to highlight the podcast network. Of course, just head to coachrx.app/podcast-network. You will see the full lineup of all of our shows. And then also every 2 weeks, I do a blog roundup, and that gets sent out over email with episodes from all of the coaches. So much knowledge and wisdom being shared in every episode. Actually, Austin Cap and Sam Smith just did a great collaboration last week on Austin's show. So that was referenced in the blog, just in case it's helpful for you guys to see it in action. If you head over to articles on the CoachRx blog and you filter by podcasts, you will be able to see of course, for frameworks and for marketing for fitness coaches, I do a blog including show notes and helpful tips on every episode that we release on those two podcasts. But as I mentioned, every 2 weeks, I do a roundup that features episodes from across the network and gives you kind of an overview of what each coach was talking about. So again, Austin and Sam Smith did this episode last week where they really talked about unlocking mental performance in endurance sports. It was definitely a favorite. I sent an email on Saturday, and it was definitely one of the top clicked, as well as the 2 episodes that Brandon has released in the last couple of weeks around a programming autopsy and warm-ups that win sessions. So be sure to check out those 2 episodes. Blake on Comeback Athlete, he is always doing a ton of content and other YouTube videos. He hasn't had a recent pod in the last 2 weeks, but I did feature this one because it was a favorite the last time that he released, or when he released this episode, it was a favorite in our email. So I kept that roundup. If you're a Spanish speaking coach, Ronel Velasquez does a podcast completely in Spanish. He focuses a ton on program design, and he goes deep into programming principles. So that is a great one to check out. Of course, we were just chatting with Jason. Jason and Ryan have Conquer Athlete podcasts, and just always have really great episodes on not only functional fitness or mixed modal athletics and coaching, but just really awesome topics around the mental aspect of sport and working with athletes who are very sports minded. High Rocks Heroes with Damien. He is always dropping new episodes that are very specific to the sport of high rocks. So be sure to check that out. And then of course, Backroom Talk. We've pivoted backroom talk, which used to be Carl and Georgia kind of chatting about a bunch of different topics. This year, as we re-released it's focused on coach spotlights. So it's me and another coach just going over their professional journey, talking about how they got into the industry and the experiences that they've had as they've become a successful and established coach. So more recently, Mitch Fisher, we had his episode release. And then Vidor, who is also a super awesome coach, his episode has released. So really great insights just from coaches in the trenches, doing the thing, producing awesome work are available in all of those episodes. So if you ever want to binge on a evening walk or something, these are great episodes to catch. Of course, on the framework side, Carl's releasing episodes weekly. Some more recent episodes that he has released. He had an episode more recently that was all about the father's role in shaping fitness in the household and for the family. And awesome episode there. And then another episode on why simple as a coach is actually harder than you think, and the wisdom that simplicity kind of requires. So I'd encourage you to check out those episodes. He'll have another episode dropping Friday. And then on the marketing for fitness coaches side, today I released a new episode all around how to develop your coaching content strategy. I am working on a worksheet to send out for anyone who's interested. Just shoot me a DM if you want the worksheet, the companion worksheet to go along with that episode. I'm happy to send it to you. It's a very simple Google Doc, but I just wanted to provide that additional value. And then the last week's episode was all around this idea of selling high ticket coaching and what's different about it today. It is more challenging because there's so much competition. So we really just talk through the landscape and the best way to move the needle when it comes to selling high ticket coaching. So be sure to check that out. And of course, if you're here, this is the weekly live that we do with the coaches of the podcast network. I'll be back with those coaches again next week. So thanks for joining us. If you did, I don't really have any action items for you this week other than subscribe to the shows, listen to the latest releases. And if you have not started playing with Lifestyle RX with all of the new bells and whistles, including health data integration and lifestyle trends, just get in there. It's going to blow your mind. Like, the feedback has been awesome, not only from coaches, but what we're hearing from coaches that their clients are saying. So that always makes us happy. Again, our mission is to serve professional individual design coaches with all that we have on the OPEX and the CoachRx side, and to be here as an extended family and partnership for all of you coaches as you grow your practices and your careers long term. OPEX Method Mentorship is starting next Tuesday. It's sold out officially. Carl, myself, the assistant instructors, Melissa, Anaki, and Steve are so stoked to jump in with a little over 40 coaches. I think it's 43 that are joining in this cohort, and to just go deep for 10 weeks with you guys. I'm also chatting with Carl about how we can do something publicly along with the course to potentially bring others along the way if you didn't make it for the mentorship. But if you're at all interested, we will be doing it again in January. So get on the list and chat with the education team if it's something that you think would be helpful for you. I would definitely move fast on that, because those spots will fill up, especially as we start showing the proof of what's happening as this cohort goes through the process. So we are all just living the dream over here on the OPEX and the CoachRx side, doing our best to serve you guys. And yeah, we're stoked to be doing it. So thanks for being a part of this community. Thanks for checking out all the podcasts and supporting all the coaches who, again, are just committing to mastery and excellence in this craft that we all love so much. And that's it for today. I will see you guys next week.